Medieval knights were more than just warriors. They served as the protectors of society, ensuring justice and order. Originating from the nobility, knights were influential figures who pledged loyalty to their king or lord. While their lives were centered around warfare, their impact reached far beyond the battlefield. Knights were expected to be paragons of virtue, embodying the ideals of chivalry and courage. Their presence was vital in maintaining stability and security in the turbulent world of the Middle Ages. These warriors symbolized power and authority. Their presence could shift the course of a battle or suppress a rebellion. They were the backbone of medieval armies, their heavily armored figures instilling fear in their enemies. Yet knights were not just instruments of war. They were expected to be men of honor, adhering to a strict code of conduct that governed their behavior both on and off the battlefield. This code, known as chivalry, shaped their interactions with others and their perspective on life. The path to knighthood was long and demanding, beginning in boyhood. At the tender age of 7, a boy of noble birth would be sent to live in the household of another lord. This began his training as a page, where he learned the basics of courtly manners, horsemanship, and swordsmanship. As a page, he would serve his lord and the ladies of the court, developing discipline and loyalty. Around the age of 14, the page would graduate to become an apprentice knight. This was a more physically challenging role, requiring him to care for his knight's armor, weapons, and horses. He would accompany the knight to battle, acting as his assistant and learning the art of war firsthand. The apprentice knight's role was crucial. He was tasked with ensuring the knight's safety and well-being during battle. Finally, usually in his early 20s, the apprentice knight would undergo the solemn ceremony of knighthood. This usually involved a night of reflection, meditation, and abstinence, followed by a formal dubbing ceremony. The new knight would swear oaths of allegiance, courage, and honor, pledging to uphold the values of his station. With this, he was ready to take his place as a full-fledged warrior and a member of the noble elite. The knight's code was more than just a set of rules. It was a way of life. It dictated how he should behave in all aspects of his life, from the battlefield to the banquet hall. At its core, the code emphasized courage, loyalty, and honor. A knight was expected to be fearless in battle, always defending the weak and upholding justice. He was also bound by his oaths of loyalty to his lord, his king, and his fellow knights. Betrayal was considered the ultimate act of cowardice. Furthermore, the code extended to the treatment of women. Knights were expected to be courteous and respectful towards all ladies, defending their honor and offering them protection. This aspect of the knight's code, often romanticized in literature, highlighted the importance of courtly love and refined manners in knightly conduct. However, the reality of these ideals often fell short. The heat of battle and the pursuit of power could corrupt even the most noble intentions. Nevertheless, the knight's code provided a framework for honorable conduct and aspirational values that influenced generations of knights. Section 4. The Clash of Swords, Knights in Battle and Tournament. The life of a knight was intrinsically linked to warfare. They trained from a young age to master the arts of combat, becoming experts in swordsmanship, horsemanship, and tactics. In battle, knights were a formidable force. Clad in heavy armor and wielding lances, swords, and maces, they charged into the fray, often deciding the outcome of engagements. Tournaments were another important aspect of a knight's life. These were grand events where knights could showcase their skills and courage in mock battles. Jousting, in particular, was a popular event, with knights charging at each other on horseback, attempting to unhorse their opponents with lances. Tournaments provided entertainment, but they also served as valuable training exercises. They allowed knights to hone their skills and test their mettle against worthy opponents. Section 5. Lords of the Manor. Managing land and castle life. Beyond their military duties, knights were also lords of their own estates. They held land granted to them by their liege lord, and they were responsible for managing their tenants and collecting taxes. This involved settling disputes, holding court, and ensuring the smooth running of their domain. Knights often lived in castles, fortified structures that served as both residences and defensive strongholds. Castles were centers of power and administration, with knights hosting feasts, receiving guests, and overseeing the affairs of their lands. Life in a castle could be luxurious, with grand halls, private chambers, and ample opportunities for entertainment. Section 6. Loyalty, Bravery, and Honor. The enduring legacy of the medieval knight. The medieval knight, despite the romanticized image often portrayed, lived a life fraught with danger and responsibility. They were warriors, bound by oaths of loyalty and driven by codes of honor. Their lives were dedicated to service, whether on the battlefield, in the tournament arena, or managing their estates. While the reality of knighthood often fell short of its lofty ideals, the values they embodied, loyalty, bravery, and honor, continue to resonate today. The medieval knight, with his shining armor and chivalrous deeds, remains an enduring symbol of a past era, capturing the imagination and inspiring stories for centuries to come. As we reflect on the enduring legacy of the medieval knight, it's clear that their influence extends far beyond the pages of history books. In our rapidly evolving world, the timeless values of loyalty, bravery, and honor they championed continue to inspire us. Today, these principles find new life in acts of courage, dedication, and service across various fields. From soldiers on the front lines to everyday heroes in our neighborhoods, the spirit of the medieval knight lives on. Thank you for watching Chronicles of Mysterious Tales. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you.